Hello everyone. So this video is for all the people that like to bet, like to gamble, even stock exchange, or go to casinos and gamble their money away, card games, poker especially. So pay attention if you have interest in all these things, because we will look at certain planetary combinations which are important if you want to win through gambling and any kind of speculated gains. It also applies to some extent for the stock exchange, but the combinations could be a little more different. We need a very strong Virgo and Mercury because a lot of analytics is involved in the stock exchange. But a lottery win, all right, has no skill involved. The only thing you need to do is go buy a lottery ticket, all right. Or if you want to go to the casino, there is not really a skill involved, right? You're going and gambling, and you're just waiting for luck to favor and win money, right? So we're going to look at some planetary combinations. There are also certain nakshatras that give a lot of money, so we will talk about those things as well. So pay attention, and we're going to do some chart analysis as well. I have a friend who makes a lot of money playing poker. So I spoke to him before making this video, and I had a bit of a disagreement with him because he said that for poker you need to it's a skill game and it's not completely a luck game. So, but luck is very, very important. So we will analyze some charts of the top poker players in the world that have won the maximum number of bracelets. Apparently, you get bracelets when you win a poker tournament. All right. So they're obviously very lucky and they have some great skills to play poker. But overall, we'll look at the planetary combinations that are there in the charts that could give you this amount of money. All right. So we are talking about millions of dollars. Yeah. Lottery win. Yeah. You become a billionaire. You're doing your 9-to-6 job and you suddenly make lots of money. All right. So the first thing we will look at is your fifth house. All right. Why your past life good karmas are all hidden in the fifth house, right? Also the dhan yogas are seen there. So if you want to see the dhan yogas, I'm going to add my video here where I've made a video on the dhan yoga, and I've also analyzed a couple of charts. So take a look at it. I have made a video specially for crypto currency traders. So I'm going to add the time card here. So check that out. This one is specially for lottery gambling. So fifth house is very important, and ninth house. Why? Ninth house is the house of bhagya and luck, and also we see the dhan yogas from there. So a combination of fifth house and ninth house is very important. We also know the second house and the 11th house is seen for gambling. To make money, because these are the money houses, right? The second house and the 11th house, the money should be coming in from somewhere. Okay, so we will see this from these four houses. But the most important house, if you want to win lots and lots of money through gambling and speculated gains or lottery, is the 8th house. Okay, the Lagna Lord. You have to see the Lagna, or we can look at it from the moon as well. All right, is the 8th house, and we will look at something called as a Vipareet Raj Yoga. So I'm going to explain the Vipareet Raj Yoga here. Okay, so let's open up an Aries chart. All right, in the Aries chart, we see the 6th house, 8th house, and the 12th house. All right. If there is an exchange in these houses, or the lords are conjunct, or the lords are sitting in the same house, it is only formed between these three houses, 6th, 8th, and the 12th house. Okay. The 8th house, why? Because, people think 8th house is bad. Yes, 8th house is bad. If your 8th house is, most people lose money in gambling. All right. So these are the people who win money in gambling. So we will look at their charts in a bit. But you need to have very strong Vipareet Raj Yogas, especially happening with the 8th house. Why? Because sudden gains are seen from the 8th house. Okay? Even inheritance at times is seen from the 8th house. All right? Because 8th house also is got the 180-degree axis with the second house, just like the 5th and the 9th house axis. Sorry, the 5th and the 11th house axis. All right. Similarly, the 2nd house and the 8th house axis is very, very important. Similarly, the 6th house and the 12th house axis for the Vipareet Raj Yoga. All right. So, to have big, big winnings in gambling and lottery, we will look at the 8th house, and we will check this from the Lagna. We will check these yogas from the Lagna, and we will check these yogas from the moon chart. And we will also check this if you're going through a certain dasha. For example, if you're going through Saturn Mahadasha, you will make Saturn, wherever Saturn is placed. For example, in this chart, Aries, let's consider Saturn is placed in the 10th house. So we will make Capricorn the ascendant and see if the yogas are formed from Capricorn or not. Okay. We will check this in the D9 as well. And you will, if you are into gambling and lottery and betting, sports, especially sports betting is seen from the 6th house. I know a lot of people bet money on football games and cricket games, right? So a Vipareet Raj Yoga needs to be seen from the 6th house. Okay? Because 6th house is the house of competition in sports. How is Rahu involved? Rahu is involved. Whenever Rahu is there, it will amplify these yogas. Okay? So in the charts, we will see how Rahu's involvement, either Rahu will be aspecting or Rahu will be causing these particular yogas, especially the Vipareet Raj yogas. Because Rahu's job is to amplify it. Expansion, out of control expansion. So we will look at charts of the poker players that have won millions. All right. Just playing poker, gambling. Okay. So I hope this video helps you out. And if you don't have these combinations, please don't waste your money in gambling. Even if you have this combination, use your hard work and your knowledge and your other skills to make money, because gambling, if the planetary transits is not good, not all. How many people win a lottery? How many people win? The percentage of people that win is very, very less. If you go to the casino, you should know the odds are always favoring the casino. It feels like it is 50-50, but it's not. Okay. We will also look at the stability of moon. Very, very important. I have made a video to check the stability of moon. I'm going to put that video time card here. So people who have a weak moon, I do not recommend them to gamble at all. You know, your mind should be stable because you should be able to stop. A lot of people win money, but you know, I hear them say, oh, I was winning and I was up and then I went down. Question is, why didn't you get up why didn't you stop playing when you were up? You would have come out with some profits, isn't it? Even in the stock exchange, you know, my share, stock prices, everything was up and then the market went down. Like, you should have not been greedy and booked profits and sold the shares, and you would have been in profit right now. Okay. So now let's analyze some charts. So first we will look at, let's look at Daniel Negreanu. Now Daniel Negreanu is not the best poker player. I don't really know, but I was asked by my friends to analyze this chart. My Canadian friends, apparently he's Canadian, Romanian Canadian, and he's one of the top well-known poker players. So since I don't know his time of birth, I'm gonna pull up his moon Chandra Kundali, wherever his moon is placed. We'll look at it from the moon. All right, because moon chart is very, very important. It's how you look at, how your mind works and how you look at life is seen from the moon chart. Your stability of mind, how your mind is, right? So as we can see, he's a Libra ascendant, and let's look at the yogas, you see the second house. Rahu is sitting in the second house, amplifying the second house of wealth, right? And the Lord of the second house is sitting in 11th house, forming a very, very strong Dhan Yoga right there. Mars, Lord of second in 11th. Okay. Now we see Jupiter. Jupiter is also a sign of is a Karaka of expansion. Jupiter is in the 5th house of his past life, good karmas. Very good position of Jupiter, looking at the ascendant, also giving the 7th aspect to the 11th house, and sitting in the 5th house, giving the 5th aspect to the 9th house, right? And then Jupiter also happens to be the Lord of the 6th house. Now let's look at the Vipareet Raj yogas that I spoke about, right? The yogas that are formed from the 6th, 8th and the 12th house. Okay, so we see that the Lord of the 12th house and the Lord of the 8th house and also the Lord of the 1st house is sitting together in 9th house. The Lord of the 9th house, Mercury and Venus, are sitting together conjunct, forming a very, very powerful yoga. So this is a combination of multiple yogas. What is happening there with Saturn, Mercury and Venus brings him a lot of good luck, bhagya, good fortune from the 9th house, forming multiple Dhan yogas, and is also forming a Vipareet Raj yoga in the 9th house. Saturn is again forming Lord of 5th in the 9th. See, the 5th house and 9th house is directly connected with each other. So many yogas. Saturn, the Lord of the 5th house, is looking at the 11th house, Mars, 3rd aspect. Jupiter, the Lord of the 6th, is looking at the Lords of 12th and the 8th house with the 5th aspect. Vipareet Raj Yoga again. Very, very powerful one. So there are so many yogas that is making Daniel Negreanu a very, very lucky and successful poker player who's won millions and millions playing cards. So if you have these kind of yogas, or if you have similar yogas, let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to talk to you. Let's look at the next chart. Now this guy, his name is Phil Helmuth. Phil Helmuth is someone who has won the maximum number of tournaments in poker and earned millions and millions of dollars. He's won 17 bracelets in poker. So it's got to be a combination of skill and luck. Otherwise, if you how will you win it 17 times, right? So let's look at his charts. Again, moon is in Libra, and we see the second lord is in the 8th house, and it is conjunct with the lord of the 8th house and the Lagna lord, Venus, making it an extremely powerful 8th house, right? Like I said, the 8th house is very, very important if you want to win big, big money. Okay? Rahu is in the 9th house, expanding luck and bhagya. It's in the sign of Gemini. And from there, it is looking at the 5th lord and the Lagna lord. Sorry, not the Lagna lord, at the Lagna, and then its 9th aspect on Saturn, which is again sitting in its own. So the 5th lord is in the 5th house. Past life, good karmas. 5th lord in the 5th house, aspecting the 11th house, Saturn's aspect there. 7th aspect. That's all the, if you see any more combinations, but I think the major two things that we need to look out here is the 8th house conjunction. Very, very powerful yoga. It's a Vipareet Raj yoga. And we will look at the 5th house. especially with Saturn being in there in the 5th house and Rahu aspecting it. Makes it extremely powerful. We also see the 5th Lord, the 11th Lord and the 9th Lord, Sun and Mercury conjunct and sitting in the 10th house, making it extremely powerful. Another Dhan Yoga happening there. The 11th Lord and the 9th Lord sitting together. Okay, let's look at another chart. This is a chart of Phil Ivey. He's right after Phil Helmuth, and he's he's this number 2 in the number of poker bracelets won. So we can see it's a Gemini moon. Let's look at the combinations here. Now we see that Rahu is in the 5th house, okay, expanding the 5th house, and it is looking at, there is a direct connection between Jupiter. Jupiter is looking at Rahu from the 11th house, and Rahu is also looking at the 9th house over there. And Rahu also looks at the moon, the Lagna Lord there. Rahu is looking at the moon. Venus is exalted. The dispositor of Rahu is exalted. The 5th house is exalted and Rahu is expanding the 5th house. Gains in speculative business. Now let's look at the 8th house. The 8th house is exalted. Mars is in Capricorn and Sun is also there. Very, very powerful, exalted. I also see the D9, Mars is also Vargottam. Okay. So exalted, then there is a mutual aspect between Saturn and Mars. Saturn is looking at the 8th house and Mars is looking at Saturn. It's the 2nd and 8th house axis I spoke about. Let's look at Vipareet Raj. Lord of the 6th, Mars going to the 8th house. The 6th Lord going to 8th house and getting exalted. Very, very powerful Vipareet Raj Yoga happening in the 8th house. Lord of the 11th, again getting exalted in the 8th house. Jupiter being there. 11th Lord and the 6th Lord being exalted in the 8th house. What a perfect example of making millions and millions playing cards and poker. So that's pretty much it. That's my analysis on winnings through gambling and poker and lottery. So if you have these conjunctions, I wish you all the best. But once again, I hope that you don't lose all your money and you have stability of mind and you depend on your own skills and your hard work to make money. Thank you very much for your time. That's all I have for you today.